Hello, crypto people. Joey here from the Chart Guys. I've been trading full time for 7 years, learning under Dan at the Chart Guys for 6 of them after joining as a member in 2018. And here to talk about some crypto. We have got new all-time highs in Bitcoin. So the big question that everybody's asking is, how high can Bitcoin go? When's the show going to end? And the bottom line is that anybody who's telling you a level that this is how far we can go or this date is when it's going to end, they're just guessing, and it's not a high probability guess. So the way to go about it is to trust our trends. I'm probably starting to sound like a bit of a broken record on these streams, but as we can see with how things have played out, there's so much value in trusting trends, and in this kind of market environment, there's serious value in walking up stops because the odds of us actually nailing a top are so low. We're in blue skies. It's a euphoria market. It can go way further than people anticipate. We know the show will end at some point. Bitcoin will see a bear market again, and everybody's going to be sad, but there will be the signs that that is happening. And for now, we're just going to stick with our trends, stick with our back burners, and right now, in the intermediate term, the daily 12 EMA and daily uptrend is our very clear guide. So until that's lost, there's no weekly consolidation. That's got to be lost to see weekly consolidation. And then next time we consolidate on the weekly, you better bet people are going to be looking for a weekly higher low off the weekly 12 EMA. And for me, until the weekly 12 EMA is lost and the weekly uptrend is lost, then Bitcoin bulls maintain absolute full control here as we continue to chug through all-time highs and now getting a little push above the 69K. We know we're kind of dancing around it, popping above, getting smacked down. But bulls are seeing another decent leg up here. And wouldn't you know, where's this recent low coming from? We'll turn on our RSI indicator here, right from hourly oversold conditions. So a lot of folks have been asking from the streams, how are you predicting the RSI levels? It's super faint on the chart here, this little line. And as much as I'd like to make a joke that it's because I have no life and I can just eyeball it, it's an indicator. So it's called RSI levels by Abdami. RSI levels. Why is it not showing up here? Here it is. By Abdami here on TradingView, and it's an excellent indicator to game plan, get zones ready for where we're going to be interested in purchasing. And as long as these backburners keep hitting, then we're going to keep playing it. And that's how the game goes. You want to wait for a pullback, wait for a backburner. The smaller time frame you're playing it on, the more aggressive, and then you try to get risk-free, put your stop below the low, and see how far the show can go on. So in the shorter term here, we've had a nice 15-minute equilibrium, but it's losing a little clarity, so I'll probably zoom out. And we've got the kind of rarer case of the 30-minute 12 EMA rider. So as long as that's holding, bulls are in control of this 4-hour move. Got a little bit of a 4-hour stair step. Once that breaks, we'll have 4-hour consolidation, then lots of room for a 4-hour higher low compared to, we'll just say 67K there. So bulls are going to want 15-minute oversold conditions to mark the 4-hour higher low. And let's see if that's setting up to be in line with our 4-hour 12 EMA. Looks like it will be roughly in the ballpark. So drop our line on there, do 15-minute oversold. Then we go out to our larger nested time frame. And you can see it's right there, 15-minute oversold, 4-hour 12 EMA. That's the next dip buy opportunity for more aggressive bulls. More patient are just waiting for another hourly oversold, waiting for another daily 12 EMA test, something along those lines. And the show will go on until it stops. No one knows when it's going to stop. So enjoy it while it's here. And really the big question is, are we going to see what we've seen in previous cycles, that once Bitcoin does inevitably top out and see some more notable consolidation, does all of that money rotate into alts? So there's one main thing we're going to be looking at for that to answer that question is Bitcoin dominance dropping with alts going up? So right now we've got a little daily downtrend. We'll be looking for a daily lower high on Bitcoin dominance. But this is, if we're talking alt season, it's definitely a larger time frame thing. So I'm liking the 6-month for that. And if we were to see a 6-month lower high and a move down, that would be the alt season. we've got plenty of upside in alts today and have for several weeks now at this point. So it's not like, if you wanted to call it an alt season, I wouldn't argue with you. But typically, the alt season is when you got Bitcoin dominance dropping and money rotating from Bitcoin into these alts. So we're going to be watching Bitcoin dominance for that, and we'll be watching ETH BTC just as like a general metric for alts as a whole. And we're getting tight here. We are getting tight. So a little bit of relative, we'll actually go to the daily for this. A little bit of relative weakness on ETH for the last 4 days here, but we're looking for a daily higher low. And what alt bulls want to see is this big old tightening range break to the upside, get a quarterly bounce underway. We'll zoom in on this on ETH BTC. And ultimately, this is a quarterly downtrend confirmed without follow through, which tells us to zoom out and look for a bull flag. Is this a yearly bull flag on ETH BTC? Time will tell if it's going to be, and it's going to be from here, then bulls are going to need to break this tightening range to the upside. So as far as our guide for ETH BTC on this pullback, got 4-hour 12 EMA, 4-hour downtrend, little 4-hour bear flag confirming without follow through here now. So that could be the first sign of a daily higher low, but bulls are going to need to get through 56.49 if that's going to be the case there. Very often we'll see flags confirm without follow through, ending up marking a larger time frame pivot. So eyes out for that on ETH BTC. As far as ETH itself, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the 12-hour 12 EMA is our guide here. And as long as it's holding, that's the status quo. Bulls are looking to play off of it, and protective traders are going to be looking to lock some in once that's lost, notably. And again, I get that it's tough when you wick down so far below, because in the moment when this candle's down at the lows, I would say, 95% chance that we're losing the 12-hour 12 EMA, but bulls wicked it back up, and we had another little version of that over the weekend here. Let's see if that was an hourly back burner for ETH. Not nearly as clean as Bitcoin. It is hourly oversold, leading us to higher highs, but a bit tougher to play with how it ended up shaking out. So let's see, let's get those lines off of there. And we've just got hourly 12 EMA support in the short term for ETH. So hourly bull flag confirming without follow through. Is that the first sign of some 4-hour consolidation? Technically I already have it underway, but if bears want to see any follow through, they got to get down through 4K psych for that. And then we'll be looking for a 4-hour higher low compared to 37.30. And that's that. I'd say the big talk of the day is LTC. At this point, we've gotten such nice follow through. It felt like for weeks on end, because it was weeks on end, we're saying LTC's not doing crap. It's just in this weekly equilibrium. Opportunity will come about once we break out of that, and we're seeing that now. So at this point, we've got to consider that maybe bulls are going for a quarterly uptrend. The resistance is not far away at this point. Let's see, 9.21%, not too far in the scheme of things. I would anticipate some defense from bears before that level, and frankly, that's what bulls want to see. Is there any type of cup and handle we could be looking at? Yeah, if we were to reject there on the monthly and see healthy consolidation, then maybe a cup and handle there. But what bulls would probably like to do to keep the foot on the gas, let's go ahead and mark our line here. So this is resistance up here. I'm going to get up to it, cool off, see like a daily bull flag, cool off RSI levels, and then go up and crack it. Because if we were to crack it straight from here, I wouldn't anticipate follow through just with the extension on the 4-hour. We know in this market environment, RSI is not as valuable. That's mainly for blue sky bulls. But what will always be valuable, whether you've got a euphoria market, a max fear market, a fundamentally driven market, is historical RSI levels. So we can pop on that indicator here. And we're a good bit away from 4-hour historical overbought on LTC. And I believe we're a good bit away from everything at this point. Maybe hourly. Yeah, hourly overbought is getting historic. But, we're going to be looking for higher lows and whatnot. So definitely something to file away. And you'll notice on these streams, I pretty much haven't been talking about RSI at all in terms of overbought. levels because it's just not that relevant in this market environment, whether you're talking RSI divergence or just general overbought. It's not that relevant. What is still relevant, again, is the historic RSI levels. And then when you get them all stacked, like if we're above 80 on the 5, 15, hourly, 4 hour, then you can anticipate there's pretty good odds of some type of pullback. But as we can see right now in the space, every pullback is getting bought. So definitely oversold RSI levels, super valuable in this market environment. That's basically the game right now, is back burners. You ask yourself, how aggressive do you want to be, or where do you want to slot on the aggressive versus conservative spectrum? And then the more aggressive, the smaller the time frame, the more conservative, the larger the time frame. And you're using your entry tools, whether it be a stair step, small time frame trend change, head and shoulders, wedge, whatever is in your toolkit. That's what you're using for your entry technique at these locations of the EMA riders and the back burners. So, another thing just to kind of talk about this market environment for folks that have been watching all the streams, they're probably just like, man, this guy's a one-trick pony, just EMA riders and back burners. But it's all environment specific. If we're in more of a range-bound environment, you will probably not hear me say EMA rider for a month. But in this market environment, it's so clearly about EMA riders. And all we got to do is click through the list to see, looking at FET, daily 12 EMA rider. Looking at Doge, daily 12 EMA rider. Who else we have riding EMAs? I think RNDR is a weekly 12 EMA rider that we've got going on at this point. AIOZ weekly 12 EMA rider was an hourly 12 EMA rider for a serious move. 300% riding the hourly 12 EMA. And then you lose it, and then that's when you know that larger time frame consolidation is shaping up. Does this mean that AIOZ is about to die? No, it just means that consolidation is coming. So a little 4-hour equilibrium here. If that is in also another point to the EMA riders in the zoom out game that Dan and I are always talking about. You lose the hourly, what do? You zoom out to the 4-hour. And at this point, if you're an active trader, 25% off the 4-hour 12 EMA. Just tons of opportunity here. But if this hourly equilibrium breaks to the downside, that'll be daily consolidation, and then we'll be looking for our hourly oversold back burner. It's the same deal, and I would imagine this is probably like hourly oversold and 12-hour 12 EMA. Looks like it'll be even above that because this, as we go sideways, this RSI is coming up. So we'll go hourly oversold and then see if we have any confluence. Yeah, that would be. So hourly oversold, 12-hour 12 EMA, often a good crack in the crypto space. So be watching that on AIOZ. But yeah, EMA riders, back burners, that's the name of the game. And looking at our BTC ratios to kind of peg who's going to get the next round of rotation. So an example of that with something I'm looking for is INJ. We know INJ has pretty much been sideways at the highs while many other coins are getting a leg up. And that is relative weakness despite being knocking on all-time high resistance. So when we look at INJ BTC, we can see this relative weakness, but we're looking for a monthly higher low. So when or if this sets the monthly higher low, which is overwhelmingly the most likely scenario with how much space we have, then INJ USD is going to come back into seeing relative strength here. So what I'm watching for here is just the 2-day downtrend still. So I've got an alert set on whatever this is, 6703. If we get up and over that, that'd be the first sign that a monthly higher low is shaping up. But then you'd still need to regain a weekly uptrend and all of that jazz that we use for all of our other time frames. But using the ratios to kind of peg who's coming into favor, who's coming out of favor is very important. And an example recently that's playing out big time today, where are we? LTC BTC. So we know LTC BTC has been a turd, but as we were talking last week, probably looking for a 2-day higher low on LTC BTC. You get that 2-day higher low set here today. Is it shocking that LTC USD is having a big day today? A 20% day to me is a little bit shocking, but it's not shocking that it has relative strength. We didn't know it was going to come today. We knew what bulls had to do to have it show on up, and then you don't know how far it's going to follow through. You just know what these signals mean when they come, and then we continue to evaluate, are bulls continuing to prove themselves? And it was very easy on LTC today because bulls pretty much just went straight up with it. So here now, we got to ask a bigger picture question on LTC, BTC. Are we just going to reject from weekly 12 EMA again, and this is another short-lived stint of relative strength? Or are bulls going to get over weekly 12 EMA and try to get a monthly bounce underway for the first time since back here in June and July 2023? So if that happens, then LTC is going to be on the menu again, more notably. So certainly on the menu now. And again, bull's going to be looking for back burners. What EMA are we riding? Not really riding anything. I guess we got 5 minute in the short term. But if that breaks, it'll just be the zoom out game. We'll be looking to 15 minute, hourly. You know, this would probably be a 5 minute oversold hourly 12 EMA. Let's map it out. So drop our line, do 5 minute oversold. And it looks like it's a bit above the hourly 12 EMA at this point. So we'll have to see how that shakes on out. Might be a 30 minute 12 EMA. Yeah, it might not be a bad play. I prefer when it's with its standard nested time frame. But here's the thing. You don't have to predict. You don't have to bet the house. And you don't have to like be right to make money doing it. Because let's visualize how this could play out here. If we come on down and let me see, I won't do the straight lines till we get to the end to save time. Say we lose the trend and we're coming on down, and then from here we have like a 5 minute stair step into our level. You take the 5 minute stair step break, you enter here, you put your stop there, you get a little move up, you sell half at your 1-to-1, and then you've got a risk-free stop. And this is something that I like to keep on the front of my mind often when I'm trading is I don't need to be right to make money. I just need to be right enough, long enough to get my risk out of the equation. And then from there, you let the market gods do what they do, and you benefit if they act in your favor, and you lose nothing if you're wrong, and you end up going down to hourly 12 EMA. So very, very important distinction that I think it takes a while to, one, develop the skills and confidence to be able to do those smaller time frame navigations, and two, to be able to just believe in yourself that you can get this navigation down and you have a reason on the larger time frame to be doing so. Sorry, I kind of tripped up over my words there, but it takes time to develop that. But then once you do, you can kind of get yourself in all sorts of different situations for the opportunity that maybe bulls do show up. And a good example of this is on Mara this morning, which we'll talk about miners here a bit more. So got this key balance area that we're working off of, looking for some potential laggard action with all of the Bitcoin strength. And we were coming down to this key POC here. So we flushed down to it on the 1 minute time frame. And then once I saw that it was getting snapped back up, I marked it in and I waited a little bit. I didn't quite do the 1-to-1 because I got a very good entry down here. And then when we got up here-ish, I took off half my position. So I had to stop and profit and stopped out with a taco winner. And, you know, I wasn't right. I wasn't right that Mara's going to see a laggard move and come on up, but I didn't lose any money and I didn't need to be right. I just needed to be right enough, long enough to get my risk out of the equation. And that was the trade. So to talk about miners a bit more here, obviously not looking good. You got Bitcoin pushing up to all-time highs and you're down at low of day. And it's not like the NASDAQ is at low of day either, where it's, you know, clearly correlating with the NASDAQ at this point. It's just independent miner weakness. So I think everybody's gotta check themselves. If you're a fundamental miner bull, there are red flags at this point. there are red flags. Was this weekly higher high without follow through going to end up leading to some monthly consolidation? Sure, looking like it at this point. Is a 6-month lower high going to end up shaping up here? It's the most likely scenario. There's no life in miners right now. The relative weakness is glaring, and we'll know when it changes, but there's no sign of it yet. So Riot, very similar deal here, except weaker, bigger picture. We're looking for a weekly higher low. Can bulls show on up and hold support and get some relative strength to come back in? Maybe, but yeah, red flags for miners, and that is what that is. So let's see, we'll click through a few more coins. Sol BTC. So this is similar to INJ, where we're looking for a monthly higher low on Sol BTC, and bulls need to get up and through this clear double top here at 22.39.4 if we're going to have the first step of a monthly higher low shaping on up. So looking out for that daily higher low on Sol BTC to bring some relative strength back into Sol USD. That being said, Sol USD is still doing fine on its own without the relative strength of the ratio chart supporting it. Bulls getting a daily higher low set here, and 136.49 is our key support. Let's see, what else do I want to look at? Let's look at some meme coins. There's a pretty similar setup here on SHIB. So last stream we were talking about this tightening range, and we're continuing to tighten on up. And what we're saying is bulls want this to tighten up, bulls or bears. Traders in general want this to tighten on up because the tighter it gets, the more follow through we can anticipate. So whether you're looking at it as a 6-hour, 12-hour, or even daily tightening range at this point, what I want to draw attention to is it can feel like, okay, it already went almost 400%. There's no way this thing has more upside, right? Well, in the scheme of things, after a 400% move, this consolidation is very healthy. And if we go back, does this look all that different from the 2021 run? Let's see what we went up on this. So 400% move, very similar, and then tighten up on the daily, and then from the bull break, another 200%. So look at that, and then look, oh, come on now, further away than I thought. Losing effect. And look at that, very similar, very similar. So not sleeping on the meme coins just because they're out of rotation a little bit right now. But again, this is what bulls want to see. You want to see the money just slosh around from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. So keep an eye on these. Pepe still the lead bull in the meme space. Daily uptrend guide. Bulls trying to shape up another daily higher low here at 763. Looking at the 4-hour, going to have to regain a 4-hour uptrend if that is going to be the case. Doge, we know it's had a weaker move up than SHIB, but it's holding on better here at this point, only 145%. And our EQ is kind of slinking upwards. You could say we've broken that first level, and we've got like a 12-hour uptrend that we're watching, 12-hour 12 EMA before the daily 12 EMA. Let's see, Bonk. Bonk's a lot more like SHIB here. The 6-hour EQ. Actually, I think I'll look at that on the 12 as well. High, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, and anything over 26.52.54 going to be a 12-hour higher low. What else we got? We got XRP getting a big old pop today. XRP, and the big question is, we were talking about how there's not a lot going on with XRP as long as we're in this 2-week equilibrium. But we're knocking right up on resistance right now. So same as LTC, bulls would like to cool off. If they're trying to break it bull, cool off first, daily 12-hour bull flag, and then crack the resistance. So hourly stair step, bull's going to be looking for an hourly higher low, 5-minute back burner. Same deal on so many coins at this point. So what else we got? Some game, I don't know if we were calling them like meta coins or gaming coins, but the whole crew from 2021, Mana, Sand, Gala, AXS. I think Gala had a pretty big move here recently. Yeah, so daily 12 EMA rider going to be looking for a daily higher low on Gala. Obviously has relative weakness here today, after the nearly 50% move yesterday. And let's just see, in 2 days, clean 100%. So hourly oversold, back burner going to be on watch here. Maybe a bit of a falling wedge. If we get lower lows without follow through here again, could be looking for something like that. This is not developed at this point. We would need to see, like, I would say probably a break below 707.5 and then into an hourly bounce, and we can be watching this wedge. But if not, we'll just stick with the 4-hour downtrend. So we'll go to the 4-hour now. Little dinky 4-hour downtrend has just shaped up. So if we get another lower low without follow through into a bounce, that could be decent because we've got the 4-hour 12 EMA here. So let's see if everybody else got that. So Mana, not nearly the move. Still chugging up, still daily 12 EMA rider. Sand, also not nearly the move. Who got a move with it? AXS? Yeah, Gala's the strongest of the bunch by far, but all these names still looking for a daily higher low. Big time follow through at this point on that daily falling wedge from back here. And yeah, let's keep clicking through the list a little bit. FET, kind of talked about it briefly, but daily higher low on watch here. This is one of our blue sky bulls, AI coin. You know, I know with myself, I'm kind of sticking with more familiar names, but there's definitely reason to focus on these AI coins. You know, Trend from the chat room here in the chart guys made a post over the weekend talking about, what chart was he using? Yeah, so if we look back at Sol here from 2020, you know, it was seeming like, wow, what a huge move off the lows, 400% already. But then after we hit new all-time highs, and you got to imagine, this is the only chart we have at this point in time. And it feels like we're extended when we hit all-time highs. And the crap went from $4 to $260. So that's the power of blue sky bulls. Like right now, if we were to get the same percentage move on Sol from here, we would need to, let's see, what would we need to get to? We would need to get to freaking almost 9,000 to see that same move. So that is far less likely than it is for one of these like low cap AI coins to see a similar percentage move. Excuse me, 1 second. Don't want to cough in your ear. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what I'm looking at. Let's see, RNDR we'll check in on. Bull's looking for a daily higher low in RNDR. Hourly oversold back burner. Mark the pivot overnight. If we turn on our RSI indicator, clean as you like it. But bulls don't like the higher highs without follow through right into relative weakness. So maybe got to be patient for daily 12 EMA on this thing. Losing a little bit of clarity. 12-hour uptrend. And we can say if 1079 is lost, then we've got some deeper daily consolidation fixing up on our NDR. All right. Let's see what y'all are looking at. Jahanzid, hello, sir. I'm doing decent. You know, I was thinking about you the other day. Last week, you said, I hope you're in good health. And I made the comment like, I'm in great health or something like that. And the next day, I got sick for the first time in over a decade. Like, definitely feel blessed to be able to say that and have had such great health for so long at this point. It was nothing serious, just a cold, but kind of funny that the first time I verbalized, like, I've got awesome health. I got sick within like a day. Revy, what up? Let's see, Carlos, taking a look at ZRX. Yeah, ZRX got some nice pop, huh? So ZRX beastie move. This is monthly higher highs with solid follow through. Tons of room for a weekly higher low. And right now, bulls are going to be scouting the daily higher low. We might already be in hourly oversold conditions. Nope. So hourly oversold back burner. Going to be on watch here. Good bit down still. So this will move around. Maybe 15-minute oversold is right now, though, huh? Yeah, but hardly convincing. That's not what bulls want to see on a 15-minute oversold backburner. Just continues slinking down. So we'll keep eyes on hourly and see if that's with the 12-hour 12 EMA. It is. Again, you see this all the time. So that's what bulls are looking for. We got a bit of a 12-hour 12 EMA rider and just an hourly stair step down. If you wanted to be aggressive here, you know, what would your risk be on taking these hourly inside bars to the upside if we were to break from here? And this ties back into the whole thing. You don't need to be right to make money. You just need to be right enough long enough. So I pull out this position tool, and you got to get a 1-to-1 move on that. So basically, if bulls can get 3% of upside on that break, you can sell half, you can be risk-free. If they show up and keep the show on the road from here, you're good to go. And if they don't, you stop out, small loss. So not a big deal. Not a big deal. Let's see, E.R. Berg, the ADA king. Can we look at ADA BTC on the 5-day? ADA BTC on the 5-day. So ADA is looking for, ADA BTC, I should say, is looking for a monthly higher low. We'll start out and zoom in. Looking for a monthly higher low, need to regain a monthly uptrend if anything bigger picture is going to shift, and we're going to see anything like that. So looking at the weekly, yeah, I guess we'll just do your 5-day. Not a lot of clarity. That had a nice spike a couple weeks ago, but at this point we're just stair stepping down. Let's find a little clarity. I think a 12-hour downtrend probably. Yeah. So we got a 12-hour downtrend in the short term. If bulls are going to hold this low, they got to regain a 12-hour uptrend. Could be an inverse head and shoulders if bulls see a little more bounce follow through. That would ultimately get a daily bounce underway. Then we'd be looking to daily resistance of 1135. But yeah, still weak. So this kind of slots in with Sol and kind of RNJ. It's RNJ's in a, not RNJ, INJ is in a league of its own because of its proximity to blue skies. But in terms of having monthly consolidation on the ratio charts and looking for a monthly higher low, ADA, Sol, and INJ are in that same category. And I think we might have just had the same thing on Rune. And this is what bulls want to see for these other names. Relative weakness for a good while here, but we know that a monthly higher low is the most likely scenario, and when that shapes up, that's when your USD pairing starts to pop off. So let's just look at when this came from. So that was the Tuesday flush on Bitcoin, right? The 5th, is that when that was? Yeah, that little all-time high, little blow off top was on the 5th, and that marked the pivot for Rune. So let's look at Rune USD, and you know, up to new highs at this point. How far are we off of that shift? 118%. And you know, it's tough. I'm not going to act like it's easy to nail this shift from relative weakness to relative strength. It's, in fact, it's probably the hardest thing to do in trading, but it's your highest risk, highest reward. So you don't need to nail the shift. Like once you see Rune BTC just moon off the low, then that's when you're hopping in on like a 4-hour higher low, hourly higher low, something like that, trying to see if the shift can continue there. Let's see, Karan, Bell, Ola. Let's see, Lizard in the lights. I like that name. Looking at Gib coin. Gib. Yeah, I don't know what Gib coin is. It's not popping up here. If you got a ticker, look at, we can go back and look at it. Let's see, what else we got? Interfans, hello. Cody and Julia, happy to have you in. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see, Lucid Vein has it right. How high can Bitcoin go? Infinite, because the dollar will drop forever. Well, as far as the dollar dropping forever, nobody knows that. But as far as how high can Bitcoin go, absolutely as high as you can imagine. These things take time. We go up, we go down along the way. But anybody saying that they know where the top is just a fool, in my opinion, respectfully. And the whole thing, before we get to XVS, the whole thing with that is, I think a lot of people, when they make predictions, one, it's being a little delusional, but two, I almost always feel that there's like some ego component to it, where people want to call the top, people want to nail it and this and that, versus saying, I'm going to trade reactively. Because the beauty of trading reactively is you take the complete burden off of yourself for needing to be right. So if you're walking up stops on this stuff, you will not nail the top on Bitcoin, but you won't get out early. You won't get out early because you're walking stops on stuff. So it's kind of setting the ego down to say, okay, I know I won't nail the top on this. I'm going to trust the market. I'm going to just, let the market do what the market does, and trust I'm not going to nail the top, but trust I'm not going to get out early. So, and again, in this environment, it can be so powerful. So like Trend, if anybody saw the interview last week with 2 7-figure traders from the chart guys that have changed their lives in crypto, his approach right now, he's entering these all-time high meme coins and just walking up stops on them to see if we can get something crazy. So, and this is kind of a, one of the sweet things about the chart guys is this is our crypto alt room right now, and obviously just popping off. So these are all posts from today of people getting stuff. These are just posts from when we started the stream. But to have someone like Trend in here saying, what's your altcoin game plan? And then everybody's in the thread talking about their game plans, hashing things out. It's just such a valuable asset as a trader to be able to, one, bounce ideas off of people, and two, be able to just, look in and get other people's game plans, see how professional traders are doing things, and then also be notified of something that you might not be watching. So there's so many coins, very difficult to keep track of them all on your own. So to have a team to be working with, and there's professional traders, there's brand new traders, and everything in between. And everybody's just here to help each other. So always sweet when you see those game planning threads and hear other people's plans and the whole kit and caboodle there. All right, Terabyte wants to see SEI. So SEI, another blue sky bull, certainly worth keeping eyes on. We got bulls trying to shape up the weekly higher low, but need to get the daily uptrend. So making a good move for that today. We've got, I wouldn't say relative strength by any means, but we've got a shift, I would say. Let's look at SEI BTC. No, we actually don't. It is just straight up relative weakness here today. So not as much relative weakness as some of our coins that popped hard previously. But bulls got to get the daily uptrend. So ultimately going to need to hold 61 cents and break 97.66. And bulls want the low to be in here soon, because if you pull back beyond the 0.5 retrace, that decreases the odds of getting the daily trend change. So at this point, decent 4-hour bounce, going to need to regain the 4-hour uptrend from here. So got to do that to get the daily higher low set, and then got to do that to get the weekly higher low set. And then we're just looking up at all-time highs of 103. See if this thing can come back into favor. All right. Jokester wants to know, why is LTC mooning? Because LTC BTC held support. LTC BTC held support. So go back to the streams from last week and listen to the LTC bits about looking for this 2-day higher low. And again, we can't anticipate that it would be as strong of a move as it is here, but that's why LTC is mooning, is because that was set. Now the question is, do we get a 2-day lower high compared to this? It's the most likely scenario unless we see notable increasing bull volume. But if that happens, then we'd have like a 2-day tightening range. They would then need to break bull to try to get over weekly 12 EMA. So yeah, LTC on the menu. Let's see what else we got. Asher wondering, what is a POC? POC is the point of control, which is the area on the y-axis where the most volume was traded. So You've got volume profile. So regular volume here down on the low, that is volume over time. And the alternative is volume profile, where it's volume based on price. And the area with the most volume traded based on price, that's the point of control, is what that is called. And you will just see traders defend and play off of these points of control. So if you want to learn more about volume profile, we've got a webinar. If you go into the lessons and more category on our website, or playlist on our website, Lamont and Dan did a chat, because Lamont's a volume profile trader, and they did a chat where Lamont was kind of teaching Dan volume profile. But that's the way to learn about this stuff, and it's gangbusters. It is gangbusters. I'm so grateful that Lamont has brought it into my game over the years, because I'm sure most folks know at this point we're we've been on this journey together since we were wee little lads who didn't know anything, and we kind of diverged techniques a little bit, and kind of always have. Like, he was a swing trader, I was a day trader, then he day traded and I swing traded, and then he went into the volume profile while I stuck more with Dan's approach. And he was like, dude, you got to learn this stuff. And I was kind of resistant for a while, but after about the 100th time that he was like, dude, you got to learn this stuff, I learned that stuff, and it is sweet. So check out that webinar. Check out that webinar for sure. All right. So Big Hoss wants to know thoughts on coin. You're short for relative weakness. I don't know that we got relative weakness, friend. This is definitely out of our minor group. Obviously, again, coin's not a minor, but it correlates with them. It's now broken that correlation with them. But if you're looking at short relative weakness, it's Mara and Riot right now. So coin's just a daily stair step. And once that breaks, bulls are going to be looking for a higher low. So let's... MSTR is obviously stronger than coin. But I don't really put MSTR in this category with coin, Mara, Riot, and even Hood. So yeah, I don't know. No relative weakness here right now, sir. If you're short and you're looking for the show to end, bears need to confirm an hourly downtrend from here, break the daily stair step, but then we'll just be looking for a daily higher low. And this is kind of the thing about fighting against the trends, is even if you're right, which it's a lot tougher to be right when you're fighting against the trends, you can't anticipate that it'll be too long of a move. Like, you got to make sure you don't overstay your welcome. Gotta make sure you don't overstay your welcome. Yo again, Revy, what up? We got Awaken to the One in the house, a Chart Guys legend and a very good friend of mine. Let's see. How do you find a good small cap fund manager? Find a good large cap. It's a joke. Let me present it properly. All right, so here's the joke. How do you find a good small cap fund manager? Answer: find a good large cap fund manager and wait. Ain't that right? That seems to, most fund managers are, it's kind of funny because they go through all this licensing and stuff to be able to responsibly take care of your money, but they really, the playbook for any fund manager is buy and hold. And obviously when things are going up, that works. But if you were to talk to most of about TA or market structure or any of that, that's not their shtick, which you would think it is, given that they're professionals in managing money. But if you're managing long-term money, there's no need, I suppose. It's not a knock against fund managers. It's just the nature of the beast. If we look at SPX, go to the old yearly chart, is it difficult to be a fund manager? If you're a fund manager, what should you do? You should buy dips and hold. You can obviously have tough years in there, but funny stuff. Let's see, more Glister Fine. Yeah, the replay will be on the on our YouTube channel once we're done here. I'm gonna have to wrap it on up here. We got a Chart Guys stream starting in now. I don't want to overlap with that. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, if you can hit the like button, I hate having to ask, but it's important for our YouTube channel and it helps us out. If you're not subscribed and you want to learn more about some charts, give us a go. Hit subscribe. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. And that's all I got here today. Certainly going to keep the check-ins frequent as long as the opportunity is popping. And yeah, you know what? I realized on the last stream, I never officially said it. No 6-month lower high. We talked about that for months. We talked about what the signs would be if it was going to shape up. Talked about how it's the most likely scenario, and it didn't happen. So that is that, and it's nice that we didn't get the signs for it because we were able to stay on the right side of it, knowing that that was potentially looming. We were able to stay on the right side of it, and that's just the whole multiple time frame analysis bit. So check it on out. Lots of good stuff here. We literally have 10,000 videos on the YouTube channel, so tons of stuff to look through. You can go back and look at what was going on in Dan's mind and at the 2017-18 top. You can look at what was going through his mind at the COVID dump. Just tons of good stuff there. Lots of webinars, lessons, and give it a crack. All right, y'all. That's all I've got. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope you're enjoying the bullishness out here. 30-minute 12 EMA short term for Bitcoin. Once that's lost, 4-hour consolidation. Bull's going to be looking for a 4-hour higher low, 15-minute oversold conditions. Watching ETH BTC tightening range. Watching to see if LTC BTC can get over weekly 12 EMA. Looking for INJ BTC to break the 2-day downtrend to try to get INJ to blue skies. Keeping an eye on all-time high AI coins. Keeping an eye on Phil still to see if it can be our next baser to get really solid follow-through on the break of the base. And keeping an eye on SHIB in the meme coins because they're cooling off healthy. Now, it's healthy at the moment. If those EQs break bear, it's not healthy. And we're looking at weekly consolidation. And I believe that's that. Maybe RNDR daily 12 EMA. Farewell, and I will see you next time.